Hello sisters, this is Jonita D'souza, the Feminine Lifestylist. How are you? How are you being? My favorite question to begin with, how are you being? We've had a very full-on full moon in Sagittarius, and it's been quite a ride. A lot of you have been sharing the full range of emotions that we all are going through right now, personally, collectively. So yeah, it's a lot to bear on, and it's inevitable at this point in our consciousness. So I'm grateful for the discomfort. It sounds very sadist, but that's the way forward, and I'm grateful that we all are in this together and we are here to share and support each other. And the reason I wanted to do this video was because of the update from the last one. So my last week's video where I shared about my disappointment and frustration, I was really overwhelmed with emotions in a good way, to see so many of you responding and writing back, sharing your support and prayers and words of encouragement. That's really filled my heart with more gratitude that most of you probably have not met me in person, and yet we feel each other so deeply, and there is something about it. Yes, so I love this thread of sisterhood that we are able to weave with our journeys together, and this is the beauty of these times. And I wanted to thank you first of all, and secondly I wanted to share some update and some interesting shifts that happened since I shared my frustration and disappointment with you last week. And it's quite an interesting phenomena, which is why I wanted to do this video and share with you, because in the last video I shared some of the hardships that I was going through, and interestingly right after I shared, and probably after the video was published, because it took a good couple of days for the video to be uploaded on the internet with this speed, a lot of things shifted. We managed to secure some backup batteries and like a generator system for electricity. So now we've kind of resolved that issue. Obviously the electricity problem does exist, but I would say as a family, we're fortunate enough to invest in a backup system, like a generator that goes on every time the electricity goes off. So that has been a good relief. The most interesting bit is that we found really cool solution to automate our rainwater. So it's been raining since last 1 week, like non-stop. I am here outdoors in my balcony, and you might not be able to hear, but it's been raining non-stop. And the beauty is that it has cooled down, and because of the system that we figured out to harvest the rainwater, we now have literally overflowing tanks of water, and we are literally amazed. I mean, these are the little things that make you happy. Yeah? Like, we have so much of water that I can wash my hair every day, and I can do all the laundry, and there is no being a Scrooge anymore of water. So it's pretty exciting, and the internet seems to be working better. So like, these things just happen really quick after my last sharing, and it made me remember this interesting phenomena that a lot of us are facing different kinds of frustration and disappointment at our own level, our own lives. And when we show up in a space of deep vulnerability, not from a space of being seen or being validated, but from a space of authentic sharing and deep self-acceptance of whatever is not working, it it creates shift because you are showing the universe a deep sense of self-trust and also a deep sense of trust in the divine plan itself. So I feel that that was what I received after sharing my vulnerability last week with you, and also through your prayers and kind wishes. So I was able to make a lot of progress in the really basic things that has quite changed the course of what is where I am right now. So I'm in a good space and I feel really good, and that's why I wanted to speak about vulnerability a little bit, because it is really important with whatever we are feeling right now to express our vulnerability in an authentic space, in a safe container, which is really important. And your presence provided me that safe container. I felt safe to be able to share this with you. And I did not care about being judged or being seen as weak or less than in any ways. So, and here is an example, and this is an example. So whatever discomfort or frustration that may be present in your life, because I'm sure there must be, or not must be, but there are a lot of things. A lot of you also wrote back sharing your piece of the heart and your experience at this point on how you are dealing with discomfort and frustration. And it's quite nice to, I'm not saying that it's quite nice to see you suffer, but what I'm trying to say is that it's quite nice to be able to share, and be held in a safe container, because then what happens is it makes us practice more of being with our discomfort, with our pain, and that's the learning curve that we are in right now these days. That's what we are going through. So vulnerability often comes with discomfort. That's the first process. And to be honest, we spend a lot of time, a lot of energy in trying to hide ourselves and trying to hide those particular emotions of frustration and stuff, because many times we are taught that we gotta be strong, we need to be able to figure out things, we are these modern women with a lot of solutions, or we don't just share because we don't want to be seen in our weakness. So sharing our vulnerability comes with a lot of discomfort, but what happens next is the state of expansion, because you don't share your vulnerability for a solution. You share your vulnerability as a means of deep self-acceptance and self-trust, as well as a deeper level of trust in the divine unfolding. So by becoming vulnerable, one of the things you are demonstrating is you're actually demonstrating some key feminine attributes of self-compassion, and and self-forgiveness, and you are learning more and more of letting go of the idea of perfection that the society has been imposing on the feminine, and especially us women. So you begin to love yourself in a deeper, unconditional way. So, and that's the new paradigm, I believe, if you are a businesswoman or a woman on a mission. What happens is that when you show up in your vulnerability from a deeper level of self-acceptance, it leads to expansion. It leads to expansion of your heart, your mind, and your creativity, to be honest. Think about all those artists and writers and musicians and painters, and they had to tap into that very deep-rooted, vulnerable part of themselves to express themselves through their creative form, and the result has been phenomenal. It's been liked by many, and until today, if you look at old classical music and paintings and things like that. So all of those great creators had to go through this part of tapping into that discomfort to create a beautiful masterpiece. And we as sovereign creators, as this creators who are ready to step into the full spectrum of the creator's power, it becomes our common practice to be able to show up in vulnerability. And I understand that for us, a lot of us, it's not easy because often we are not given the safe space. However, if you really look around, you will find safe space. For example, our Exploring Femininity online Facebook group is a very safe space for you to practice this. So I really encourage you in there. And one of the things that if you are a business owner or a person who has an offer or a product, you showing up in your vulnerability also will lead you to create really authentic connections and will draw the people of your like sorts to you. And that's how I have been doing business. That's how my business has been flourishing. So vulnerability plays a really big role. So that's what I wanted to share actually. I'm getting distracted, really out of topic. But well, there are dogs barking first of all in the background, which is sometimes annoying. But what I wanted to see is that I have been missing connection with the nature so much, like being outdoors. I've been bringing nature to me. So I've been doing a lot of homemade ideas for hair mask and face mask. So my latest creation is a beetroot lip balm, which I have applied right now. It looks pretty good, right? I'm quite proud of myself. So I want to invite you into a deeper inquiry, my dear one. And what I want to say is to really tune into yourself and ask yourself, what aspect of yourself are you not embracing at the moment? Yeah? Or you're finding difficult? What part of yourself are you finding difficult to embrace? What part of yourself are you finding difficult to embrace? And without any filters, allow your heart to speak. And please share with me in the comments if you feel safe to. And if you say that no, I think I'm pretty sorted. I meditate and I do my yoga and I do my green juice and I'm quite done with this part, embracing part and self-love part. I don't believe that, because that's not the point why we are here. We are not here to resolve what our imperfection. In fact, at any point in life, we will be thrown continuously. We will be thrown these challenges, and we have to learn to step up and step up and step up, and that's how we continue our evolutionary process. So, Abraham Hicks, she says that you can never get it done. I remember like many years ago when I heard that for the first time, you can never get it done. It really annoyed me. I was like, really? So what's the point? Yeah. But that's the point. If it is a no for you, if the answer to this question is a no for you, then I challenge you to dig deeper. Go beyond the surface level, because at any point in your life there will be at least a subtle, and that's nothing right or wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about it actually. What part of yourself are you finding difficult to embrace right now? Because recognizing that can lead you to the next step in your evolutionary process, and that's how we do. So dig deeper. And and I invite you to really sit with this question, spend some time journaling, and see what comes up with you. Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer to this. But the deeper you go within is where you will find the vulnerable aspect of yourself to answer this. Yeah. And once you have done this inquiry, I want you to also go to another step, and I want to end with that. Taking some deep breath, taking your hands on your heart. Ask your heart, like literally question, what does your heart wants to tell you right now? What does your heart wants to tell you right now? Yeah. What does your heart want to tell you right now? And this is something that I took myself through to be able to become vocal about this topic that I'm sharing. So, when you really ask what your heart wants to tell you right now, the truth will be a kind of a self-renewal for you. And at this time, day and age, it's all about learning, practicing ways of reparenting ourselves, and it's our responsibility. It's not your lover's responsibility, not your children's, not your mother's, father's, not mine. It's your responsibility to reparent yourself. So, sister, I would love to know from you. Please share with me in the comments or in the Exploring Femininity Facebook group if that's your safe space that you feel comfortable. Or you can write to me, you can email me. A lot of you have been writing, and that's beautiful. We need each other right now, and by showing up in our authentic vulnerability, we are simply practicing how to be more of ourselves. So with that, I'm sending you a lot of love, happy life, beautiful life that you are creating.